Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
With all the negativity and chaos in the world today, stop, and remember the real reason for this season, the birth of Jesus. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. And we need a patriot, a real true patriot to call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you and yours on this Wednesday, December the 4th, already 21 days till Christmas. You better get ready, and don't forget our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They do a phenomenal job, and they've got all the tires for you to meet head-on all the weather conditions on the roads with all their great tires. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and also Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And a big thank you to Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends. Right now, let's get a patriot on here and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My friend.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank you, and I know you're going to call back a little bit. I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you much. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast brought to you by K&R Rental. Hello, Roger and the crew over at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss them, boy. I mean, you talk about a front yard full of equipment. They've got it. They've got all the tools and equipment you need to finish any kind of a project for both long and short-term rental. You get a hold of them today, the best, K&R Rental, and the number to call, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather forecast.
Another relatively mild day here in the valley as we make our way through this work week. We are expecting some areas of fog, but other than that, partly sunny skies with a high expected of 38. Winds out of the east at about 7 miles an hour tonight. Patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Expecting a low of 26 for tomorrow. Patchy fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. High of 38, mostly cloudy for Thursday night with a low of 24 by Friday. Partly sunny and 42. Rain showers and maybe some snow is a possibility on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies. We are expecting a high of 43. That's a look at your weather forecast for 7-3.
Gina does a great job on the weather. Thank you. And, of course, brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. You know, I want to back up a little bit and say, hey, maybe you've got a project you're not sure what kind of tools and equipment you need. Well, all the more reason to talk to the pros at K&R Rental. Roger can help you and the rest of the staff. 678-3122. Give them a call today. Want to remind you also, as we get into the swing of things, we have got a home run program this morning with a lot of very, very good guests from all over the United States, and I'm looking forward to this. I want to remind you, too, about our friends that live right here in this area, and they've been serving you for almost 7 decades. Holy smokes, that is tremendous. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. They're also there early in the morning, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they do have all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. That's not bragging, that's a fact. Please get a hold of them today. They've got all your furnace filters, everything at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Absolutely. We're going to be giving away a ham here in a little bit in the first hour this morning. So if you're not listening, you can't win the ham. If you're not calling, you can't win the ham. So we're going to give away the ham, compliments of our dear friends at Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and right here at Zeb at the Ranch. And we want to say a big thank you to all the folks that helped us. And those hams redeemable with your certificate I'll mail you at Smith's Foods. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. I want to remind you, too, of a great place to go. You know, if you're hungry while you're Christmas shopping, stop into Denny's, America's Diner. Holy cow, have they got a great menu, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time, with all the desserts and phenomenal people serving you, always with a smile on their face. Don't forget, we're going to be over there broadcasting live and direct at their old-fashioned Christmas party on Thursday, December 19th, and we're going to have a ripping good time at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant in Burley. You can stop in anytime for great meals at Denny's Restaurant. Be sure and see them today. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated, and I want you to give us a jingle on the landline. Kamala Harris, if you're not aware of it, is out of the presidential race. I will say she is out. She is gone, and I will say good. She ran out of money and donors and support. But here we go again. Here we go again in this land of America where it's easier to form a complaint against somebody for your own shortcomings. The left is starting to play the race card again and say that the no support for a black woman to be president because of all the whiteys in the race. Now, you can't make this stuff up. There was a couple of people that have shot their mouths off, including left-wing commentator Lauren Duca, and she said that evidence of Harris's failed campaign due to, listen to this, white supremacy and Fox News and others. And then there were other comments about her skin color is what drove her out of the race. No, it wasn't. And then let's see, we have left-wing writer Judd Legume wrote, Harris dropping out leaves the Democrats with an all-white debate stage for December. Biden, Sanders, Warren, Steyer, Buttigieg, Klobuchar. The Democratic Party has created a process that includes Steyer but excludes Cory Booker. I don't know how he came into the mention. But anyhow, this is idiocy and incompetency. Now, for those of you that may have forgotten, let me just open the book and turn the page to remind you. Back in 2007, I took a lot of heat because I did not like, nor do I at this day, Barack Obama. Don't like him, never will, never can accept him or his policies. And I was called a racist. But the left, with a brain of a tin man, forgot that at the same time, at the very same time, and I can back it up with tapes of the program, etc., I was advocating Condoleezza Rice to get into the fray to run on the GOP for the presidency. I remember now. She's black also. But the Democrats on the left, they failed to realize these important facts. So to say that Kamala Harris was drilled out of the presidential race because of skin color, and failing to remember the past with Condoleezza Rice and others is absolutely ridiculous. The Dems, as they have proven almost daily, looking for a brain. Caller is welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I tell you what, I don't know what is the reason for the lack of the calls the last 3 days. Wow, I've never seen this thing dry up like a sponge in the hot sun, but we're giving away ham here pretty quick. You better start giving us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Merry Christmas wishes from our dear friend Rick over at Mountain Transmissions. And, of course, he's located at 504 East Main Street in Burley. And he wants to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And he says he provides free estimates and free diagnosis for your transmissions. You got a little problem. You think you're going forward, but you're not. You're in reverse. You got a problem. You better take it into Rick at Mountain Transmissions, 678-9110. And they wish you a very Merry Christmas. I know some other folks that are really concerned about your livestock and your animals at this time of the year, and that's Ark Animal Hospital. You know, the last couple of days haven't been too bad, but you know as well as I do that we're going to start seeing more snow, we're going to start seeing some more colder temperatures, and they need a lot of water. A lot of water. Don't just stick an old pan out there and let it freeze up and say, oh, well, they had water yesterday. No, they need a lot of water. And make sure they've had all their vaccinations. And please, for the puppies, don't feed leftovers. It's not good for your pets. Believe me, it can cause a lot of GI problems. They care about your animals and your pets. Ark Animal Hospital, Dr. Bill and the crew at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. And the number to call is 678-1177. They have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Yes, they do. All right, callers, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. As you probably are aware, within minutes, if it hasn't started already, the pathetic Democratic circus is going to continue. It's the sham show with Adam Schiff and little Jerry Nadler and all the other trained donkey acts that represent the Democratic Party. And this has got to the point where you almost have to smile, and you feel like going over to these Democrats and patting them on the head and saying, just sit down for a while, put a cold wet wash rag on your forehead, and you'll feel better in a little bit. And Adam Schiff will go down in my mind as perhaps the biggest liar and distorter of the truth that I've ever seen or heard on television in my life. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. The menu at the Burley Senior Center lunch today is roast pork and all the trimmings and yummy dessert. It'll be good. Be there, and you can get a takeout meal for only $5 if we call ahead.
Well, Joe, we'll send them over there on Overland to the Senior Center, and great meals, and boy, you're the world's best cheerleader for that operation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. We appreciate you.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much. Joe Taylor. Good man. Come on, callers. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Some of the comments that Schiff has said that we have overwhelming evidence against President Trump. Now, back up. How many of you that really follow what's going on in the news have heard almost the same verbiage so many times before from little bug-eyed Adam? Oh, we have overwhelming evidence. Why, we have evidence enough to lock him up and throw away the key. Why, we've got this and that. And then when it comes down to push and shove, they don't have a thing. And then you have little Jerry Nadler trying to play tough guy, and he said in regards to the opening ceremony of their so-called circus this morning, I won't take from anybody. Oh, my goodness. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Sam, I've got a new name for this Schiff guy. You're afraid of some of the words that might come out, but he reminds me of a weasel.
You know something, Bob? Now that you mention it, he has kind of that long neck and that bug eyes, and the way he sits up there in that chair. I think that's a pretty good analogy.
I hate to disgrace the weasels, but that's exactly what he looks like.
You know, honestly, all kidding aside, Bob, all kidding aside, this is, I think, in my lifetime, one of the biggest wastes of time and money and resources and no working for the American public. What are your thoughts?
Well, we've been talking about those people not doing anything to earn their money, and they decided that this is what they need to do, is have these impeachment hearings. That way we're earning our money, and our taxpayers can't, we just have to go along with it.
And, Bob, I think that you are very perceptive of what's going on in politics. You call quite a bit, and we have a good laugh every now and then. But I think you will absolutely agree with me that all of this is nothing more than a sham. It's a show. It's a scam to just try to divert the voters from voting for Trump's reelection.
It's just a whole bunch of bullshit.
Did I break out in a cold sweat? Yeah, I heard you articulate. I hope everybody else did. Bob, thank you very much. Wow, I got scared. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. One of the news reports I was watching last night on the news, and my wife and I were sitting there, and with the living room arranged now with the Christmas tree up, our recliners are almost side by side with a little bit of a kind of a lamp table in between. And we were sitting there and listening to this garbage on television last night, and the various Democrats that were interviewed, and they kept saying, why, we're going to keep on investigating, keep on investigating, keep on investigating, keep on investigating. The record needle was stuck in the groove. It was the same thing over and over and over from so many different sources. We're going to keep on investigating, keep on, keep on, keep on. My goodness, what do they hope to find? They're creating a crime. They're trying to create a crime. And then go, aha, we've got him. You know, if you investigated, I think the most pure, sincere person that's on the face of the earth, and has always tried to be helpful to his community, his neighbors, his family, everything, sooner or later you're going to have some semblance of a, aha, we've got him. And that's what's kind of happening. They're investigating. And they plan on doing this forever, right up to and probably through 2020. What a waste of time and effort. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, I want to hear from you. Dino Septic Service, my. They have expanded their business. I mean, really expanded their business to better serve more people all through this area. I'm telling you what, fast, fair, friendly service. I'll never forget the time I called them about a year ago and I said, please help us. And boy, they were there with fast, fair, friendly service. Septic tank pumping, backhoe services, liquid waste removal, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned, all of this and so much more. Absolutely. Number to call, 436-6526 or 678-1638. You bet, with a big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. You call them right now. They're going to be there to help you, I can tell you that. We got some Merry Christmas wishes, and, whoops, wait a minute. I just lost part of my Merry Christmas wishes. Well, I'll pick them up during the news break. But anyway, back to our Merry Christmas wishes. And they're from Butte Irrigation at 116 South, 600 West of Paul, and also their other location north of Kimberly by Red Cap Corner. Can't miss them. They've got all your irrigation needs, and it really is true when they say we'll get you wet. Don't forget Butte Irrigation, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And Golden Valley Warehouse, 1000 South, 468 West of Burley, with the Adams family. Really, really good folks. Quality seed, and of course, they'll custom clean your grain. I tell you, they'll take care of you. Great staff. Golden Valley Warehouse, wishing you a Merry Christmas. And last but not least, Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And she's got a great idea for next spring and summer for gardening and taking care of your lawns and everything. She's got gift certificates over there. Absolutely. Call her at 431-5667, Vicky's Country Garden. All of them wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Quick note, too, don't forget on Mondays, we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox at 8:30 in the morning on Mondays. And, boy, that'd be nice to have some Christmas cookies right now this time of the year. Sugar cookies, please, plain, I love them. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. Bakery, oh, boy, it is good. And a restaurant, oh, boy, it's delicious. Stop over to Sophie's Chatterbox in Rupert. Really good people. All right, now it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A story that we've been following, and, excuse me, because my wife and I have met this man back in 2002 over in Spain when I was over there announcing the World Equestrian Games. And that's Prince Andrew from the royal family. I'm going to be a little cautious in how I say this because it looks like Prince Andrew is in a heap of trouble. Along with his past, what seems to be good friend, Jeffrey Epstein, and a lot of underage teenage girls. This situation is turning into a royal flush, believe me. And I'm not talking cards. It is going to get bigger and bigger. There's going to be more people involved. They have the log sheets of the various people that had visited Epstein at his ranch, his very exclusive, hidden-away ranch. And one of those people is former President Bill Clinton. But surprisingly enough, on one of the log sheets for one of the flights, and now they're seeing maybe there might be 2 or 3 occasions, Hillary also was there. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
And Chelsea.
I was just going to say that as an addendum, and you got to wonder because this place was known as not the best place for family entertainment. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. It's a place where sick, demented people go to get their jollies.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton lied. I know you're aware of this. Bill Clinton lied when he said, well, I knew Epstein, but I didn't know him very well, and I might have been with him about once or twice. They're finding out on these plain log sheets that, quite frankly, Wild Bill was there a lot.
Yeah, and there's a little ranch down in Texas, Bill was there a lot.
You got it.
And these Democrats talk about President Trump's actions not becoming of a president. Have you seen a picture of President Trump posing in a blue evening gown?
No.
No. Well, there's one of President Clinton down there at that Texas ranch hanging on the wall.
Yeah. Let me just say, how can, honestly, if you're going to represent the American people, Doug, this is a question I want to throw at you. If you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, and you're elected by your constituency, they go to the polls and they vote for you. and you are put in office, are they electing you for what you can do for them and try to rectify certain situations and make the world a better place? Or are they electing you to be a pervert and involved in all these under-the-table schemes? What are they electing you for? And the problem I'm getting at is, what happened to the voting electorate in this country for not demanding better quality people?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. You elect them to represent you and the United States to the world. You don't elect them to enrich themselves and go do whatever's been done. And Mr. Clinton, Bill Clinton, wasn't the only one that defaced that office in the Oval Office.
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And let me back up, to be fair, because I know a lot of liberals are chomping on the bit right now. They'd like to get in there and just get in my face. When President Trump was running for office, we all knew of his shortfalls. We all knew of his character and personality flaws, of which I would add also an addendum that you have them and I have them also. Nobody's perfect. But, since he's taken over office, honestly, I have seen a transition, and anybody that's honest can say they've seen a transition where this man is devoted to working for this country, America, and Americans.
And doing it with no pay.
Yeah.
I mean, you show me another president that has went in that office and says, I'm fighting for America and I will not accept a paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm just absolutely amazed that little Jerry Nadler that wears his pants where the belt's right underneath his chin, and Adam Schiff and the rest of these people, they have made it a point that they're going to continue this investigation. They know that they're going to do it right up to the day before the election, 2020. They're doing it as nothing more than a firestorm for the voters not to vote for Trump. That's all it is. They don't care if they prove him guilty or not. They just want to create a change in the mindset of the American voter.
Exactly. And I thank God every day for giving us President Trump, because personally, I don't know if I could handle the incoming like President Trump has. And I know there's a lot of Republicans that are running for office that would have resigned by now.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
President Trump to do. They want him to resign.
Yeah.
Because they know they can't impeach him. And I love President Trump because when they throw a jab, he throws a right hook.
I've got a lady coming up on the program later this morning at 10:06. Please write that down and listen. Her name is Tisha Powell, and she's written a book about why Trump must win in 2020. I think you're going to find her absolutely phenomenal in what she's written.
Exactly. And this is not going to stop in 2020 when President Trump wins.
Oh, no. Oh, heavens. But on the other hand, though, let's look at it this way. Here's the American voting public, many of which are working doggone hard trying to put food on the table and pay the mortgage and pay for a car, etc. And they don't have time, and they maybe don't have access to Fox News or news that they can sit and really say, well, is this true? Is this true? And they don't have time to sit down and really read and analyze. I am afraid that voting public, when they hear that the Democrats are trying to impeach Trump and they're coming up with all these stupid statements like, we have overwhelming evidence, they're going to be swayed by that negative response and vote for some dumb Democrat in 2020.
I think you underestimate.
I hope I do. I hope I do.
I think there are a few out there. There are a few out there that do not, listen to the news at all. There's a few out there that only listen to CNN and MSNBC, but there's a majority of the people out there are smart. They see what the economy's doing. They see what's going on. They see America now on the world stage as a superpower. And this is what the Democrats hate, because they were trying to take us down to a third world country so they could have a one world order.
Well, I agree with everything you said, and I'm certainly not calling the voting constituency stupid or anything, but I'm just saying I'll go back to what I said originally. My words were that they're so engrossed in trying to make a living and put food on the table and everything, they don't have the time personally to really sit down like you and I and others and discern what's going on with these clowns in the Democratic Party.
Yes, there are some out there that's like that, and I agree with you there. But I think the majority of the people out there, because President Trump won in a pretty good landslide his first election, and this second one is going to be even greater.
I hope and pray, I really mean this, I hope and pray that you're correct. Doug, I got to run as usual. I'm behind on my commercials. I don't know why I put myself in this position. A guy on crutches should never try to hurry up.
That's you got a point there, buddy. Hey, everybody! It's the giving season. It's the Christmas season, and we thank God for giving us Jesus to forgive us our sins, and we need to be giving. We need to give to the senior centers. And like I said yesterday, contact your favorite senior center. Ask them where they bank.
Absolutely.
Go to your bank and have an automatic withdrawal every month. $10 a month.
I appreciate it.
That's 2 lattes.
Well, believe me, it might even be a little bit. I'll tell you, have you got one lately? I got to run, Doug. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, caller, don't go away. Please stay right with me. I'm going to hurry. I got to tell everybody, Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. When you've got the jobs of lifting and digging and pushing and carrying, they've got the equipment. They've got all the Doosan wheel loaders and excavators, and they've got all the Bobcats in every shape and size. And I tell you what, they've got great low-rate financing, excellent lease programs. You better check it out today. Absolutely. 3 locations serving you. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. Nobody does it better than Barry Equipment and Rental. You get a hold of those really good folks today. One more quick note. Caller, I'm a coming. Next Monday, December 9th at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 11 o'clock in the morning, bred stock cow sale. This is going to be a ripping good sale. Over 1,000 head of really good heifers and cows, all ages. Call Cade Rogge at 431-0074. Merv May, 431-5735. They've already had a whole bunch of good cattle consign, including about 450 solid mouth cows, 1 iron. Hey, good quality cattle at this sale. Don't forget, next Monday, December 9th, Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 11 o'clock. Bred stock cow sale. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Wheels, where's the caller?
They should be there, sir.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
No problem.
Good morning.
All right, I'll just hang them up.
All right. Well, caller, call back. I don't know. When you call the station, please, caller, listen if you can, so that when your time is on the air, I can get you right on the air. I appreciate that. So please give us a call back, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. Let's see. I love the way, and I mean this, some of you probably wouldn't agree with this, but I absolutely love the way that President Trump is sitting down across the table from world leaders or sitting next to them in chairs during a news conference and not kowtowing to these people. And when questions are asked, looking at the camera, and then also looking at the world leaders like Trudeau of Canada and Macron of France, and telling them and the world exactly where the goat ate the cabbage. We saw that happen on a couple of occasions yesterday. And to me, it was so refreshing not to have a political leader kind of stumble and stick his chin down to his tie, look at the floor and go mumble, 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 oh, well, this, that, and the other. When it came to Trudeau of Canada, Trump very eloquently told him they're not cutting the cake and not paying their fair share to NATO. Called him out on it. When it came to Macron of France, It was exactly the same thing when he made a reference to ISIS. And he said, well, you want more ISIS fighters? We'll let the ones that we've captured come to your country. I absolutely applaud him for telling it like it is to these world leaders. Nobody in my recent memory of presidents has, since probably John F. Kennedy and Nikita Khrushchev, when they had their confrontation over the Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't think we've had a president, correct me if you think I'm wrong, that has really started telling world leaders, back up, Jack. That's not the way we're going to play this game. We're going to play by these rules. And Trump has done that yesterday on the world stage. And it's no more free ride. It's carry your own weight and pay your bills. And I really respected that. What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. To the caller that was trying to call in, please don't weaken. Just dial the number again. Don't forget the first Saturday of the month sale going on at Mad River Laser. This Saturday, oh boy, get in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, and check out all the ornaments, including custom-made ornaments that are going to be on sale. If you have not been to Mad River Laser, I urge you to do so. They have so much in there for you. And I mean that. Whenever we do business with some of the logos for my business, my company, etc., that's the place we go. She does a wonderful job. You got to check it all out at Mad River Laser. And they're located at 502 East Street in Rupert with their big first of the month, Saturday of the month sale coming up this Saturday. They'll be open from 10 to 5. You get over and just enjoy. Believe me, you're going to have a good time over there. By the way, I've got another quick note that I've got to get on, and it's such a quick note that I lost it. Sorry about that. I'm looking, and I found it. Here we go. The lost is found. Anderson Farms and Jones Commodities want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And they remind you to drive safely. Pay attention out there on the roads. Oh, and by the way, too, Anderson Farms and Jones Commodities are looking for more great people to go to work for them in the upcoming year. So if you'd like to make an employment change, hey, call them at 677-2818. That number again, 677-2818. And they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Right now, I'd like to wish the next caller a Merry Christmas if you'll give us a jingle. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to give away a Christmas ham, a 5-pound, it might even be a 6-pound, I don't know, ham for Christmas. And our compliments to my dear, dear friends at all the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers have teamed up with me, Zeb at the Ranch, and my wife Deanne, and we're going to give you a Christmas ham. Aha! I love ham. And, of course, these can be picked up at Smith's Foods in Burley or Twin Falls. We'll send you a certificate. If you're the winner, stay on the line. Wheels will get you get your address and your phone number, and we'll send you the certificate. Here's the question for the day. Which country is said to have originated eggnog? Which country in the world is said to have originated eggnog during our Christmas holiday season? What country in the world is said to have originated eggnog? And the first person that can call me with the right answer is going to get a free Christmas ham. Come on, call 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I've asked some easier questions this week, and now we're going to make it a little tougher. Let's listen to see what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Is it Britain?
Oh, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you a chance to be more definitive, more than Britain. What would be the answer?
Gosh, I don't know. That's all I have.
Gosh, you know what? I'm going to give it to you because you're in the same ballpark. You just bought a ticket to the wrong seat. It's England. Would you say that? Say England, so I'm legal.
England.
Oh, my goodness, you hit it right on the head. What is your name?
Tammy Estes.
Tammy Estes is the winner of a ham. Now, what we're going to do is have you stay on the phone, Tammy, and give your address to Wheels, and then we'll send you a redeemable letter that you take into the meat department at Smith's, and they'll give you a ham. How about that?
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and that's from Zeb at the Ranch, Les Schwab Tire Centers, and, of course, our friends at Smith's. Thanks, Tammy. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
All right. And she's going to get the address to Wheels and another ham. Another ham has been given away this morning. And congratulations to Tammy Estes. I think what we better do, and I hope Wheels can do this while he is trying to get the address, we're going to get to the weather forecast. I'm running a little bit behind here. Imagine that. And our weather brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And, you know, if you're hearing jingle bells, maybe it's not jingle bells, maybe it's tinnitus. You better have that checked out. And many people just say, oh, live with it. Well, that's not true. They can help you at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I urge you to give them a call. Make an appointment for a hearing screening at 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, Wheels, old buddy, old pal, here's Gina with the weather.
Another relatively mild day here in the valley as we make our way through this work week. We are expecting some areas of fog, but other than that, partly sunny skies with a high expected of 38. Winds out of the east at about 7 miles an hour tonight. Patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Expecting a low of 26 for tomorrow. Patchy fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. High of 38, mostly cloudy for Thursday night with a low of 24 by Friday. Partly sunny and 42. Rain showers and maybe some snow is a possibility on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies. We are expecting a high of 43. That's a look at your weather forecast for 7th, right?
Gina, you do a good job. Thank you very much. And I want to urge everybody to hear what you've been missing and make sure you make a hearing screening appointment by calling Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids at 312-0957. I will repeat, 208-312-0957. You call them today. They are the best. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a jingle on the landline. Did you know, and this really, it astounded me when I heard this figure. It's been estimated, and I don't know who sat down and figured all this up, or how they figured it up, or what kind of a basis they used, but it's been estimated that most of us in the United States watch over 78,000 hours of television in our lifetime. What? I mean, you stop and think about it. 78,000 hours of TV in a lifetime. And most of it, liberal, nonsensical garbage. But 78,000 hours. And so I can tell you what, on behalf of Deanne and I, we are going to start cutting back on that national average. And spend more time gazing at the Christmas tree, reading a book, or petting the dog. But we don't want to be contributory to 78,000 hours of TV. What a waste to be sitting there glued to that tube for that much of your life. Holy cow. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Merry Christmas wishes from our friends at Rogge Auction Company, based over in Declo. Really good folks. Snake River Auto Body and Paint in Twin Falls. There's some more good people. And boy, these guys are good. Baker Brothers Pump Service in Burley, along with Dixon Oil over in Rupert. They're always in there to help everybody. And Redder's Showcase in Burley. Let's not forget, they all say to you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas. Now make my Christmas a little better. Give us a call on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I wished I had more time. Whoop. Caller, good morning. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. I caught you.
Yes, you did. I have been nabbed.
A little bit ago, because I was trying to find you on my phone, and I forgot what the question was.
Oh, well, okay, but I'm sure you want to try to comment on the other issues, so go right ahead. We've already had a winner for the ham.
Oh, for the ham. Now, what were you asking the question was?
Well, I was asking what country eggnog originated from, and it was England.
Oh, well, of course. All of the stuff that they had to drink, they had to put an awful lot of stuff in to drink so that they could get them down.
Let me ask you a real quick question. Well, another question while you're on the air with me, Chris. And you've been involved in politics and you've been involved in agriculture all your life. And what are you thinking about another series of more hearings with the Democrats and more slanted cases being presented? I mean, what do you think about all this?
I think they are just wasting time because they're going to be going home in a couple of weeks or whatever, and they do not want their favorite listeners calling them all through the holiday because they know they'll have to answer.
Yeah. I don't think impeachment.
We need to clean the house and send a whole bunch of newbies back to Washington.
I couldn't, and you know what? I'm going to say this in all issues of fairness on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
Yeah.
No, these bodies that have been in those seats for so long, I think they've turned into another person.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't even know why they're there. So,
I agree. Listen, to you and your family.
I think that we pay them too much, and it must be too alluring to get these people back there. And then once they find out what they get to take advantage of, they don't quit.
You know, that's really an interesting statement about the possible perks and the under-the-table type things. Chris, to you and your family, you've been such a faithful listener over the years. God bless you and Merry Christmas, please. I mean that.
Oh, thank you. And I have a God-blessing little bunch of kids.
Well, wonderful. You take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful lady right there. I appreciate her calling in, and calls are welcome, 436-2244. I think I'm going to wait on this major story until next week because it's absolutely so appalling. I'll give you a little semblance, kind of a preview, that the way the laws are now in major cities in the United States, be it San Francisco, be it Los Angeles, be it Chicago or wherever, or Las Vegas, whatever, it's becoming increasingly difficult for people to get law enforcement for what are termed smaller crimes. And I'll give you an example. Now, in some towns like San Francisco, they're saying that if it's anything as far as stolen property under $950 worth, you're going to have a real tough time trying to get somebody to prosecute that person if they are caught. If the police are going to take the time to go find them. If the legal system will prosecute them. So basically what this is doing is creating nothing but chaos and crime on an escalating level all across our United States. and nobody's going to do anything about it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Well, you're absolutely right. If law enforcement people's hands are tied with all of these ridiculous rules, the rules of engagement, you got to be. Well, here was a policeman that was sentenced for murder recently. It's and you heard very little about this on the national news. It was on the internet, of course, but this, he was defending. He was shot at, and I guess he's supposed to be killed or wounded before he can shoot back.
Yeah.
And he ended up shooting and killing somebody that was trying to kill him and other people. But we don't have the rule of law anymore. We just have the rule of the jungle, and there's no justice out there. And when you have these liberal judges out here and the rulings like you just mentioned about, unless it's less than $1,000, just let them come in and clean the place out.
Well, Adrian,
it's ridiculous.
let me interrupt you there for Adrian, just a minute. Let me interrupt you.
Need to support our local police and keep them independent, because what they're trying to do is create a national police force.
I know. Hey, hang on, just a minute. Hang on. As you can see by looking at your watch, I'm out of time and I've got another commercial to do in this hour, but I'm going to be talking about this extensively next Monday in the first hour. Call in earlier so we can talk about this. I appreciate your comments. I've got to run. I'm running late against the news right now. Thank you.
You have a great day, Zeb, and
all right.
And God bless your efforts. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Don't forget our friends at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, they've got all the tires, all the tread designs, all the sizes to get you through anything the weather's going to throw at you on the roads, the mud, the snow, the ice, the yuck, the muck, all that stuff. And believe me, you stop in today, they can and they will help you. And they've also got all your tire chains, and they've got the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more by the professionals that really care about your safe driving. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. Yep, the best. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Got to run to the news? Well, that's an oxymoron. I'm going to trot to the news, and then we'll be back in 7 minutes. Oh, the music's on, and that means I am too. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations with the best of tires for the wintertime driving. Stop in and see them today. Along with Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And our friends at Greystone Crossing Senior Living, absolutely, at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. Seniors living the good life with friends, absolutely. Right now, this good word for Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're all at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this free land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
Oh my goodness sakes, you thought, well, we got company coming that's going to stay for over a week and a half through Christmas and New Year's. We better clean up the house. We better get a dumpster. You better get 2 dumpsters. Well, you better order them from Western Waste Services. They'll drop them off. You fill them up, they'll come and get them. Oh, it's so easy. Get rid of your garbage. Call Western Waste Services. Always at your disposal. 734-6969. Take care of that right now, today. By the way, too, I want to remind you about our friends at Mad River Laser. They're going to be having a great big, what they say, first of the month Saturday sale. That's going to be coming up this Saturday on the 7th. Don't forget, they're going to have all their ornaments, including custom-made ornaments, on sale. They're going to be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you have never been into Mad River Laser, what a treat. You're going to really appreciate what Nicole and the rest of the people have got there for you at 502 E Street in Rupert. Once again, it's going to be their first of the month Saturday sale on December 7th, coming up this Saturday from 10 to 5 at Mad River Laser. I also want to quickly remind you about my friends, and like I said, I've known this family for probably pretty close to 50 years. Oh, I'm an old guy. Quality's Electronics is having a great big Christmas sale. Yep, before Christmas. Absolutely sale prices on their great selection of TVs, sound bars, and audio equipment, and low prices on great selection of lift recliners. You might check that out. Really something. And if you mention my name, Zeb Bell, and you get an extra 10% off on TV bases and wall mounts with a U. There you go, Zeb. And it's a great, great place to shop every year at Quality's Electronics, 1730 Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. Hometown service and support for you at Quality's Electronics in Twin. One more good word, and I know old Beagle's a chomping on the bit, but I've got to tell everybody about our dear, dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff. And they pledge to serve you as you want to be served. Absolutely, with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. And they provide the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort, always, always at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. The number to call, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. And don't forget, Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morris and Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now, we go over the river and through the woods. To Dave Vigo's house we go. Listen to the sleigh bells as we park our sleigh on his front porch. Good morning, Dave Vigo.
Good morning. You wouldn't be having a sleigh here. There's no snow on the ground.
We've got a little bit here and there, but not much. But what's the weather conditions back there? You're telling me that winter storm didn't hit you?
No, man, it's nice there. It's blue skies, and I don't know, it's about 35 degrees, something like that. But it's pretty. It's supposed to be up to low 40s today. Okay,
well, I want to get right into some things here this morning because I value your political analyst attitude on things. You know, we went through the Mueller report. We went through the Russia, everything was Russia, and all the collusion and everything else. Now we're starting to plow the same field for the third or fourth time, and Jerry Nadler, little Jerry, is going to sit there and try to make more mud out of, I guess, more mud. What do you think about all this?
Well, Zeb, I think it's, as I've discussed with you before, this is all about trying to bring the president down before the election, or to make him look so bad the Democrats can win, because they're scared. I'm telling you, they are afraid that they don't have the candidates to win this election, and so they're just trying to tear the president down, and that's what this is all about, and they're going to keep trying to dig up mud.
Well, okay, now you mentioned the Democrats, and I want to really highlight what you just said. The Democrats do not have the candidates. I want you to expand on that, because I'm just saying this, and I'm not trying to be prejudicial when I say it. But of all the years that I've been cognizant of what's going on in politics and following elections, etc., honest to goodness, the Democrats and what they've got lined up at those podiums at their debates is pathetic. Those people don't know Camille from Sikkim.
Yeah, they just have people that just don't have the talent or the ability or the, to be a presidential candidate. In fact, most of them, they probably had hard times getting into some of the offices they were in, and the only reason they're in politics is they can't be successful in the free market.
Well, Kamala Harris just dropped out, and I really don't care about anybody's thoughts about whether she was a good, bad, or indifferent candidate. She just couldn't get the money and the support. But right away, Mr. Bigo, even people on the left are saying, well, the reason she dropped out is because it's a bigoted white society and Whitey chased her out. They always play the race card, Dave.
Oh, they do. They use any tactic they can to try and make the other side look bad and to try and get people on their side, and they're trying to get the black community more and more on their side because they, in the last election, presidential election, a lot of the black community moved to support Trump, and they're afraid that's going to continue to happen this year because the black community is waking up to the fact that all these entitlement programs and all these things that they want to give them, free this, free that, free everything. It's just stuff that makes the black community not successful in this country, and they're waking up to that fact. And I think they're going to have a tough time getting the support.
Well, I will go back to 2007. And you and I have been doing this program for a long, long time, but during that time span leading up to the election for the presidency going into 2008, when Barack Obama was running, I did not like him. I do not like him. I do not like any of his ideology or his politics, and I stated so, and I was called a racist. But to show you how basically dumb a lot of the Democrats are, even here in our state of Idaho, they led a charge against me, calling me a racist commentator and everything. But guess what? At that same time, David, I was supporting Condoleezza Rice to run for the presidency on the GOP ticket. Last I looked, she's still black.
Yeah, this is what they do. And, Zeb, as I've mentioned, I wish more people would go out and buy my book, The Devil at Our Doorstep. The tactics that the SEIU used against me, they did the same thing. They called me racist and all that, even though I have black people working for me at all different levels in the company, and I have black friends. And it's like this morning, I had to have electrical work done at my house, and the guy that I have does it. He's a black gentleman that owns his own electrical company, and he's a good friend and a good guy, and it was great to see him this morning. But even though I had those, people, the SEIU and the left were calling me racist on the side. And, and what's funny is it's like this black gentleman this morning, his name's Jason. He has many times told me, he says, Dave, I am so fed up with this country and the politics and all these entitlement programs. He says, because, I can't find people that want to work. Because too many of them are on entitlements and that, and I need more electricians. And I think I've told you this story before. But he says, I've got a friend who's married, and they got 5 kids. He's black, so is his wife, and they live separately because his wife gets, food stamps and stuff like that, aid for dependent children, and all other kinds of things. And he says, and the guy lives by himself separately in another place, and he goes around all the time applying for jobs and never takes one, so he gets unemployment.
Oh my!
And between all the entitlements and unemployment, that's what they live off of.
Oh my! That story just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up and makes me absolutely mad and frustrated. And this is what it's going to
because. That's what the left tries to do to snooker people and get them on their side.
But Dave, that's the kind of the showcase, if you will, of what's going on in America. It's the gimme, gimme, gimme mentality. I don't want to work for it. I don't want to be responsible for it. Just gimme, gimme, gimme. And the Democrats are standing there. They went to the grocery store and have a bunch of carrots, and they're handing these people these carrots, and so they'll vote Democratic. And that's the problem we've got in this country today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And but this administration is fighting it. I don't know if you saw last night, but the Trump administration is bringing out a bill that's going to curb the state's control of food aid.
Yep.
And people are going to have to prove that they are not capable of working, and and other things, and because they're not going to get food stamps or what's it called, SNAP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and they're not going to get that stuff. And what it basically is, this rule lays the groundwork for the expectation that able-bodied Americans re-enter the workforce, and that's what we need, because we've got a lot of job openings out there.
Gee, what a novel thought. Let me run this by myself again so that I can remember what you said. People are going to have to start being responsible and fend for themselves, pay for what they want by themselves. Why, I don't think that concept will ever fly.
Well, the Democrats said that this just deepens hardships for poor families and circumvents congressional authority over government assistance programs. So they're going to fight it, but it's supposed to go into effect April 1st.
And it's kind of similar. We're on the same track right here, talking about making people responsible to pay their own way, and that's kind of what happened at the NATO summit, if you will, over in England with Trump when he talked to Trudeau of Canada and Macron of France. I gotta hand it to Donald Trump, and anybody that wants to go and arbitrate with me, come on, bring it on, because this is one of the very first presidents ever in our history that'll look at these guys and say, hey, you're not toting your weight. Pay up or get out. I love this, what he's doing.
Well, absolutely. And you probably don't remember, but when I was still writing blogs, I wrote a blog on it that, the North Atlantic Trading Association and other ones, we got to quit supplying all the money and supplementing that. These other companies got to step up and pay their portion of it.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, he looked right at Macron, and he looked right in the eyes of Trudeau, especially Trudeau. I mean, he caught Trudeau flat-footed, and he just basically said, they're not paying your share. I mean, you're way down. You're supposed to be a 2%er, and you're not even paying 1.3. And Trudeau looked at him, and then he had to look off camera and get some assistance from one of his aides and found out, yeah, I guess we're not.
Yeah, and those are things that I talked about, and I've had a lot of people say I ought to have my blogs made into a book, and I've been thinking about it because I went through a lot of things that this president's going through.
Well, the temperature that's going on around the world with Trump, and I do not buy this lunacy of saying, well, he's the most hated man in the world. Listen, man, I want him to get reelected so bad. I do not even want to think about waking up in the middle of the night, walking out to my living room, getting in my recliner on a snow-filled evening at 2 o'clock in the morning and thinking about having either Joe Biden, that can't remember where he was yesterday, or wild-haired Bernie, or Elizabeth Warren, or even worse, Buttigieg. These people absolutely make me want to run to the bathroom and put on more deodorant because I'm sweating.
Yeah, and that's, as I said earlier, they don't have any good candidates running for this, and that's why overall the Democratic Party is really concerned about this whole thing, and they're attacking Trump and his administration to try and bring him down, and either get him impeached or get him to back down and retire from office, and that's not what we need in this country.
Well, Dave, you watch the news, and I'm sure you read the newspapers and everything, and the obvious thought that is being pushed right now by the Democrats as they go into this next set of hearings, balderdash, is that they're going to keep investigating. One of the people on the Democratic Party that was interviewed yesterday, that's the main theme. We're going to keep investigating until we find something. Well, I don't care. I said this earlier in the first hour of the program. You can take the purest person in the world, and if you keep investigating, pretty soon you might find out he kicked a dog someplace.
Yep, I mean, nobody's perfect, and, everybody has done things in life they shouldn't do, but, again, you go back to this. This is their tactics. This is their program, and they're going to continue to do it, and you got to understand, too, and I think I've mentioned this on your program, is that the unions are really running a lot of these Democratic candidates running their programs. And, and so they're using these tactics, and they're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, but are they, and you're the man to ask, because you know more about unions than anybody I know, are they, the unions, are they still at a status quo, kind of a middle-of-the-road, Mexican standoff type atmosphere, or are they increasing in volume and numbers?
No, they're actually continuing to go down a little bit, and that is one of the big problems the unions are having, and they don't like it, and they want the Democratic Party back in power. So the Democratic Party puts regulations and laws and rules back into place that the unions can go out and force unionize people and grow their membership again.
But, you and I, your family, my family, all the people that are listening, we're the ones that are suffering. We're the ones that are not getting what we paid for. If this was hire a politician week, we hired so-and-so to do the job for us, we're not getting the job done. We're not getting the bang for our buck, or the bang for our vote, if you will, and it's not coming back to us because these nincompoops are sitting in hearing rooms trying to find, like whack-a-mole, trying to find a crime to pin on President Trump, and it's costing the American taxpayer all this money.
Yeah, well, that's right, and again, they still want these entitlement programs and that, and it's like this SNAP program. It's going to save, I forget how much they said in the article, but by doing this, it's going to save, reduce the budget for the U.S. government big time, really big time. And that's what we need to do.
But the minute you make somebody get up off the couch and stop eating bonbons and turn off Oprah Winfrey, the minute you say you got to work to be responsible for your life, you're going to have a firestorm of, oh, that's bigoted, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to come. They're going to attack it. And, I just found it, so that's going to save the government billions of dollars.
Oh, I bet.
That's a lot of money. And we need to get people to get up and go out and work and do the right thing and persevere and move forward in life and learn how to do more things. And that's Trump's, I think, is moving in the right direction, but the attacks are going to continue, Zeb, I can tell you.
Well, I've only got a couple of minutes left, but I want you to pursue this one point. You're a college graduate, great businessman, author, etc. I've been very blessed in my achievements that I've sought for in my career. We've tried. TRIED. We've tried and we've succeeded. But how do you implement a change of thought in our education system to implement the idea that, hey, you can be whatever you want to be and you can succeed if you try in America? That's not there anymore.
No, and that's one thing that the government needs to look at, especially in the public school systems, needs to go back and relook at that and get people in there that aren't being controlled by the unions and the left politics, and teaching the kids the wrong things. It's one that teaches kids how to move forward in life and how to be successful in our free market society.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. How did your Colts do last week?
Ugly.
Yeah. Well, Green Bay won, but it hurts me to say this. They maybe can get by the first round of the playoffs, but when they start playing the big boys like Frisco or whatever again, I think it's going to be a long plane ride back to Lambeau.
Yeah, I think you're right, and our Colts aren't even going to make the playoffs this year. They're just not, they're not in tune at all, but our Pacers are doing pretty well, so at least we've got something good to watch.
Well, call me up some night when you got tickets. I'll fly back. Will you buy the popcorn? I'll sit with you, and we'll have a good time.
Sounds good to me.
Dave Bigo, Indianapolis, Indiana, a true friend of this program. God bless you, man, and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.
Well, Merry Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners, and look forward to a Merry Christmas, our Lord.
Absolutely. Thank you. The reason for the season. Dave Beagle, thank you so much. Good friend, right there back in Indianapolis, Indiana. He's been on my program. I can't even remember when he started. It's been so long ago, and I really appreciate him. Don't forget, next Monday, December 9th, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 11 o'clock, the Bred Stock Cow Sale. This is a ripping good sale. This is an opportunity for cattlemen to put together a real good string of cattle for this next year. Call Cade Rogge for more information. Old Cade knows. 431-0074 or Merv May at 431-5735. They're expecting over 1,000 head of ripping good heifers and cows of all ages. A lot of them solid mouth cows, one iron. You better check it out next Monday, December 9th at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 11 o'clock in the morning for that bred stock cow. So it's going to be a dandy. I can guarantee you that. Merry Christmas wishes. Yes, Zeb, you're right on top of things. Merry Christmas wishes from Burley Veterinary Hospital in Burley. Really good folks over there. And our friends at AMI in Burley saying Merry Christmas to you and your family. Nature Valley Nursery. These are really good folks, and they wish you a very Merry Christmas. Clark's for Shopping up in Oakley. Boy, they're outstanding, along with Searles up there in Oakley. Man, we got some great Oakley people on our program. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Okay, I've got some other things I got to take care of here real quick, and then in just a moment, we're going to get our attorney with the Pacific Legal Foundation on the air, and a story that's going to make you just as upset as you can be. We'll find out more about that in a moment. But right now, let's talk about what's going on with... did I tell you about our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation? If I didn't, I apologize, because they're there to serve you. 678-1191, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Hello, Nick Greenwell, and all the great physical therapists that can help you get over your aching and paining and recoup from an accident or surgery. All you got to do is just call the number and make an appointment. 678-1191, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Great folks serving you at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. You get a hold of them today. Also, over in the Rupert area, I want to remind you about Todd and the rest of the crew over at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. I mean, they go to work for you. They go to work for you and take care of all your needs. Absolutely dedicated and very responsive. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call, make an appointment, 436-4424. Don't forget, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Quick reminder, we're going to be at Denny's Old Fashioned Christmas Party Thursday, December 19th, and we'll be broadcasting live and direct from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., and we're going to have Santa Claus, great singer, and just all kinds of fun at that December 19th Christmas party at Denny's America's Diner. You be sure and be there. Want to remind you, too, about Let's Ride. This is quite a place. If you've never been to Let's Ride, I'll tell you exactly where it's at. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they've got a showroom that is chock full of fun. I tell you what, from the four-wheelers to the snowmobiles to the snow bikes, you name it. I do not know how they got everything in that showroom. And then an accessory department. Boy, great Christmas shopping right there at that accessory department. And a service department to keep you running. Let's Ride, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And again, they're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. And it's so, so true. This is where The fun is sold. Really good people at Let's Ride. One more quick note, and then my guest is going to wake up and I'll get her ready to come on the air. I want to remind everybody about Mountain Transmissions with Rick and the crew at 504 East Main Street in Burley. Holy moly, they wish you a very Merry Christmas. If your transmission in your vehicle is not working properly, in other words, you went to back out of the driveway and you went forward and you got a problem because you drove through the garage, you've got a transmission problem. So please get a hold of Rick today at 678-9110. Mountain Transmissions, wishing you and yours a Merry, Merry Christmas. Right now, let's go to the phone line. And with us on the phone is an attorney with the Pacific Legal Foundation. I'm going to say her last name, and if I'm wrong, I expect her to come on and correct me. Paige Gillard, how are you?
I'm doing well, Zeb. It's pronounced Gilliard.
Oh, darn. Okay. I forgot the other I in there.
Still waiting to be sworn in.
Okay. I absolutely appreciate that you're a constitutional law fellow, and you've got a story to talk about this morning. When I read this, I got to guarantee you that if you'd have been in the office, you'd have seen me try to take off one of my Tony Lama boots and throw it through a window. This is insanity about that poor farmer in California. Tell us about the story.
Yeah, so our client, Jack LaPant, is being sued by the federal government for planting a winter wheat crop on his property up here in Northern California. Prior to even putting a plow in the ground, Jack received clearance from not one, but two federal agencies who assured him that he could plant his wheat without any problems. But roughly a year later, the Army Corps of Engineers came along and told Jack that he also needed their permission to farm his property. Now he's being sued for not getting permission from the Army.
Paige, I'm going to really slow down and watch my language over this, because this is not one of the first stories that I've heard of idiocy and incompetency against farming and land use. But now this gentleman, why did he have to get permission to plant winter wheat in the first place if it's his farm? I mean, why?
Well, that's the thing. He actually didn't need permission to plant the wheat. Under the Clean Water Act, Congress specifically exempted, quote, normal farming practices from permitting requirements. However, the Army Corps is taking the position that despite Congress's exemption, he still needed their permission to plant his property.
This doesn't at all abide by the land of the free, the home of the brave, and agriculture that we desperately need more of, not less of. And what about Mr. LaPlante? I mean, did he lose his farm, or was he sued? Did he have to pay an extremely high fine? Give us kind of an update on what's going on here.
Sure. So litigation's ongoing. He is being sued for violating the Clean Water Act. That is the position of the government. He faces up to millions in fines.
Oh, my.
For just planting his field.
Wait a minute. Really, I want you to enlarge your answer a little bit. He's being fined, did you say billions with a B or M millions?
Billions.
This is insane, and the man did nothing wrong other than try to take his farm into a useful production of planting wheat. And nobody from the Army Corps said anything to him. What did they do? Just show up on his property one day and say, no, we're going to get you now?
Yeah, they essentially sent him a letter saying that he had violated the Clean Water Act for not first getting their permission to farm his property.
Okay, and who are the first two groups of people that supposedly he had gone to and asked permission, took his hat in his hand and said, oh, please let me, and they gave him the okay? Who were they?
Jack talked to the Department of Agriculture Farm Services Agency and the Natural Resources Conservation Service prior to even putting a plow in the ground.
So why would he know, or how would he know, or should he know that he had to bow at the throne of the Army Corps of Engineers?
Yeah, see, that's exactly the point here. It doesn't make any sense that the Army of all people, would have anything to do with farming in the first place.
Okay, so what's the status on this? Pacific Legal Foundation, you're going to bat for Jack LaPlante, and what's the end result, or where are we on this case?
So we're still in active litigation. We'll be in the Federal District Court for the Eastern District of California, which is up here in Sacramento, and we're doing our best to defend Jack against what, quite frankly, is a lawsuit that shouldn't even be here in the first place.
What did he do, supposedly, to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers? What did he do wrong other than just plant his crop? What did he do that was out of place with other farmers in adjacent farms to his?
Well, the Army Corps is claiming that he planted through wetlands without a permit.
Define wetlands.
Well, according to the Army Corps of Engineers, that could be anything like a seasonal puddle that occasionally fills with water during rain.
Okay.
When Jack farmed the property, there was no water on the property at all.
So we're looking, and by the way, please be more definitive. Where is this property located? Tell me that.
It's located in Tehama County, which is in the Sacramento Valley.
Yeah, that's fine. Counties are fine, but give me a town close by.
Red Bluff.
Oh, well, then I've been there many, many times. I know the area quite well. Thank you. But really, the Army Corps of Engineers, what is their purpose, do you think, for trying to hurt Mr. LaPlante?
I think, there's a number of things. They're definitely trying to stretch the farming exemption as far as possible. Congress specifically exempted normal farming practices from these burdensome permitting requirements. To even get a permit from the Army Corps, you're looking at roughly 2 years. Congress recognized that's impossible for farmers to do. So they purposely exempted farming from that requirement. However, the Army's taken the position that, plowing a field isn't a normal farming practice. If you ask me, there's nothing more quintessential as a normal farming practice than plowing a field.
But the way this sounds, Paige, it sounds to me like had he just gone out there in no-till situations, a no-tillage situation, and planted the crop, they still would have come after him.
It's certainly possible.
So what do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot here with a little speculation, but do you think that you and the Pacific Legal Foundation and others, with kind of a precedent setting that's happened before with the stupidity of the kangaroo rat that was run over in California years ago, and they stopped a farm, and then, of course, water issues in Wyoming where they tried to shut down a farm, and other locations, when do you think these people are going to learn that farmers have to farm if they're going to grow crops that are going to feed the world? I mean, this is idiocy.
Well, we certainly hope that they learn that soon. The problem is that government moves slowly, and many of these regulations have become just absolutely entrenched. But when it comes down to it, it shouldn't take a lawyer or 3 different federal agencies to grant a farmer permission to plant wheat on his own property.
Absolutely not. I mean, what is the definition, if you will, at that juncture of your own property? I mean, if you own that property and you plant a crop on your property, can't you legally tell the Army Corps of Engineers to take a long walk off a short pier?
Well, according to Congress, the Army Corps of Engineers shouldn't even be involved in this case. They specifically exempted normal farming practices.
So why didn't...
The answer to that question is yes, but unfortunately in this case, what's happening is they're claiming that what Jack did was not a normal farming practice.
And who was he supposed to have hurt? Would it be a neighbor? Would it be the environment? My goodness, I can't understand that. What was their claim that he was damaging?
The claim is that he damaged wetlands on the property.
And if it was dry and there were no wetlands, I mean, I hope he didn't pour out a bottle of Coca-Cola or something, and then that's considered a wetland. As dumb as it sounds, that's basically what they're saying today.
Yeah, and, aerial photography, census planning has shown that those wetlands are still intact.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I certainly hope that you'll stay on top of this and let us know what's going on. Now, what about the cost to Mr. LaPant? I mean, he must have gone through some enormous financial heartache on this. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been quite difficult, but Pacific Legal Foundation represents clients free of charge. So we're here representing Jack because we think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but did he, I read someplace in the info sheet, and I'm trying to find it right now. Oh, here it is. Today, he doesn't own the property. How was he able to sell it if the case is under litigation?
That's correct. So he actually sold the property in 2012, and at that time, there wasn't any litigation surrounding the property.
Oh, so they came after him after the fact?
Correct.
Oh, my goodness, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, he does not even own the property anymore.
So he doesn't own the property anymore, and the Army Corps of Engineers came after him after the fact. What were they doing? Sitting like a chicken on an egg waiting for this thing to hatch, or what were they doing and waiting for so long?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm not exactly sure what they were doing.
It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I mean, as a litigant and also a constitutional law fellow, where's the seriousness in this story? It should be laughed right out of the courtroom.
Well, we certainly think that Jack has a great case here, and that this shouldn't be happening to him. It should not be happening to him. And, what do you think our founding fathers, many of whom were farmers, would think about having to get permission from the Army before they could even plant their land?
I'll tell you, if they'd have done this back in George Washington's day, George would have called or went to send his neighbor on the horse, kind of like Paul Revere, and say, the idiots are coming, and I think he would have fought it.
Well, that's certainly what we plan to do. We'll be here for Jack the entire way.
Well, I absolutely appreciate you telling me this story. And with the Pacific Legal Foundation, Paige Gilliard, and tell me, if they want to follow this story, and I'm going to, what do they do? What's your website?
Yeah, your listeners can go to pacificlegal.org to learn more about this case and all of our efforts for individual liberty and property rights from coast to coast.
I tell you, Paige, I appreciate it. You didn't help my demeanor today by having this story. I'm really upset now, but I'll stick with this, and I want you to come back and tell us more, okay?
All right, that sounds great.
Thank you very much. With the Pacific Legal Foundation. Can you imagine that he had sold the property and somebody else has got it, and then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock on your door. Hi, we're with the Army Corps of Engineers, and we remember when you had that property, and we're going to take you to court because we feel that you were using a wetland. Now, of course, you might say that it was all dry and dusty, but we're going to say it was a wetland, so we're going to sue you. Holy smokes. This is America? Oh, and he went through the proper channels. He's a farmer. And he planted 900 acres of winter wheat on his property and had no clue that by planting on his own property, he was going to end up in trouble with the Army Corps of Engineers. And they're out to get him. Holy cow. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Frustrating. Time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. I mean, they know what they're doing. They are the professionals. Tax return preparation, I'm going to cough, stand by. I'm done. Tax planning, business consulting, that one snuck up on me. Retirement planning, payroll services, everything for you at Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. I love this gold. I'm going to miss it when it's gone. And they've got 2 offices to serve you in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget to work with the best. Call, make an appointment today. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's the weather.
Another relatively mild day here in the valley as we make our way through this work week. We are expecting some areas of fog, but other than that, partly sunny skies with a high expected of 38. Winds out of the east at about 7 miles an hour tonight. Patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Expecting a low of 26 for tomorrow. Patchy fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. High of 38, mostly cloudy for Thursday night with a low of 24 by Friday. Partly sunny and 42. Rain showers and maybe some snow is a possibility on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies. We are expecting a high of 43. That's a look at your weather forecast for Seventh Ranch.
And it is foggy out there at our Murtaugh Studios, high above the third floor where we broadcast from. I can barely see out into the next field beyond my fence line. It's getting really foggy. Weather forecast brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They care and they can help you. They will help you, your family, and your business. Get a hold of them today with offices at 1710 Overland Avenue in Burley and 625th Street in Rupert. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This story about this man in Red Bluff, California area that was farming and sought the official views of the U.S. Department of Agriculture Farm Services Agency and the NRC, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and he went ahead and planted his crop just like any farmer, and then all of a sudden, years later, they come to him and say, with the Army Corps of Engineers, "We're gonna get you." This is ridiculous. And I mentioned when I was talking to her, stories of California. Remember the farmer in California, I think it was down by Clovis, California, that while he was out disking his property, he ran over a supposed endangered species, the kangaroo rat? Oh, did he get in trouble. And then remember the family in Wyoming? We had them on our program. They put and built on their property after they got permission locally from their county, etc., to have a farm pond on their property. Whoa! The feds come after them and tried to take everything away. I mean, it's not the first time. Private property and what you do on your private property, even if you've got permission, you've got a bunch of lazy louts that are nothing but pencil pushers that are going to come after you. Case in point, right here with Mr. LaPante. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Zeb. I've only been able to catch pieces and bits of this thing you're talking about, the poor farmer that raised that crop of seed, or that crop of wheat. Only thing I have to say about that is them Democrats or dingbats, whatever you want to call it, and the Army Corps of Engineers, they're probably together on the thing, and the guy's probably a relative of President Trump. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, why would you say that he was a relative of President Trump?
Well, because he's getting treated like President Trump is getting treated.
Ah, I see where you're headed on this, and I agree with you. But now, are you a farmer or rancher? I've got to ask you that.
Well, I'm not really a farmer, but I've worked on farms all my life.
All right. Well, this is complete incompetency at its best to think that this man owns a farm, planted all these acres of wheat, thought everything was well and good, and then way after the fact, the Army Corps of Engineers are coming after him and trying to take him to court and fine him and turn him into a bad guy. This is insanity in the United States.
Well, I tell you, it's just exactly like the insanity happening in Washington, D.C.
I could not agree with you more. Thank you for your call, and Merry Christmas to you.
Got to stop it, but I don't know how either.
Well, I do. A big dustpan and a mop, and let's clean house on both sides of the aisle. Thank you, sir. All right, sir. God bless you. He's right. He's 100% right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, my. I want to wish Merry Christmas wishes from Magic Valley Irrigation. Oh, my goodness. 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Hello, Jeff and the crew at Magic Valley Irrigation. They've been making this area absolutely better because they offer irrigation system service and repair since 1978. My goodness, Magic Valley Irrigation saying to you and yours a very Merry Christmas. And Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert. My goodness, they've got all your carpet needs, absolutely all your flooring needs. Why don't you get a hold of them today, 436-1722. Mighty nice folks over in Rupert, Magic Valley Carpet, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And our old buddy, emphasis on the word old, I'm kidding, Doug at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair. There's not anybody better than him. 635 21st Street in Hayburn. And he says, don't forget the true meaning of the season. And also don't forget the senior centers at this Christmas time. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair in Hayburn. Wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas. I got time for another call. Give me a jingle on the landline. I'm incensed by this fact that the Army Corps of Engineers, or our federal government, the large encompassing statement, federal government, can come in and they can say, well, that's a water wasteland right there. You've got to take care of that. Well, you can't farm on that. And they can claim, I think, and it was made on earlier programs with the Pacific Legal Foundation over another case, that they can claim wetlands anywhere they want to. I mean, supposing you leave your hose running out in your orchard and you create a little pond. Ha, ha, ha! That's a wetlands. I'm not being facetious. Today, more than ever before, we have to be so careful about bloated bureaucracy and the idiots that run it, honestly. You know what? We're going to do something a little different today. And normally we wait until Thursdays, but I am not going to be on the air tomorrow. I've got some doctor's appointments and other things that I have to take care of tomorrow. And that being said, Sharon's going to fill in for me tomorrow. And normally we do Starving to Death on Thursdays, but I'm going to do it today and tell you that if you're hungry and starving to death, I know where you should go. AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. They've got the pumpkin shakes, and they got the eggnog shakes, and they've got all the different burgers, and they've got the famous Farmer Brown burger. They've got all the tots and the fries with the special sauce. What are you waiting for? Start the car. Get on over to the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And let's move over to the Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley. Pumpkin empanadas. And they're now doing the DoorDash, too, so you can go online and order and knock, knock, knock. There's your food. And they've got all the street tacos, and I'm going to call... Done. Street tacos along with the new pork burritos. Oh, those are delicious with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. And the breakfast burritos, all of this and more on their great menu with nice people at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Burgers, etc. They've got 2 locations to serve you, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And listen to this, after 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you can't beat this. Corn dogs or burritos, just $1.39. $1.39? Yep. That's right. Pumpkin shakes, and they've got eggnog shakes, and they got a different soup every day. It's delicious. Don't forget, 2 locations, burgers, etc., in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. With those buffalo burgers, they are phenomenal. Cheesy broccoli spuds, and of course all the different cupcakes. They got a different flavor every week, and they've got all kinds of great menu choices. But you know, they got really nice people over there serving you too. Open Monday to Saturday, 11 to 9. Don't forget Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And those are just a few great places to go when you are hungry, starving to death. Memo to self, I am very hungry. Coming up next hour, we've got, I hope I say her name right, Tisha Powell. and she's written a book that you have got to hear about. It's called Trump Must Win. Discover the dark days Americans will face if Trump isn't reelected in 2020. And then at 10:30, we've got Karen Cataline coming on, and she's going to be talking about supporters of Trump like me and others that are being called cults and other words that maybe I can't put on the radio. All that's coming up this next hour right here on Zeb at the Ranch. We'll be back in 7. Don't go away. Oh, Merry Christmas, and our jingle bells are working overtime. And glad to have you aboard Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for your wintertime driving needs. Absolutely. And don't forget our friends at your Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. And of course, don't forget Greystone Crossing. Excuse me for the frog and the cough this morning. Greystone Crossing Senior Living at 1221 21st Street in Heyburn. I urge all seniors to call Matt and Kelly Wiggins at 208-650-4979. That number again, 650-4979. Stop in after you make a call. Make a appointment to see the beautiful 12-bedroom home for senior living. 1 mile east of Walmart on 21st Street, providing 3 meals a day, plus housekeeping and local transportation, snacks. Oh, it's a great, great place. You're going to love it. Great place for seniors at Greystone Crossing Senior Living, right down the road from Walmart on 21st Street in Heyburn. Really good folks. I want to remind you, too, that we've got a lot of Christmas wishes to put on the air before I go to my next guest. We want to mention, of course, our dear friend, Kelly Anthon, Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27. And he is a great, great guy that's worked hard for all of us here in Southern Idaho. And he and his family want to look right at you out there in Radio Land and say thank you for all you've done to help him, voting him in office, and then also extending back to you a very Merry Christmas from Senator Kelly Anthon. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, Seat B. There's another man that we can be very proud of right here in this area as he represents us in the legislature. Fred Wood and his family say to you and yours, Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And the same from our old cowboy buddy up there in Oakley, Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, and Representative from District 27, Seat A. Scott Bedke, of course, rancher up in Oakley, wants to extend the very, very best of Christmas wishes to all of you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke. Thank you very much. All right. One more. No, we've taken care of all the good words we're going to handle right now. We're going to go to the phone line. And I got to tell you that I have been excited about trying to have this lady on the phone and talk about her book. She sounds like she's going to fit right into our philosophy and thought on this program. And I say good morning, and I'm going to say her name. And if I say it wrong, please correct me. Tasha Powell, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a blessing. I tell you, it's a blessing to be here.
Well,
and I guess for those who don't know me, I'm really a social media influencer. That's really how I'm getting around here. I have 1.6 million views on Twitter. I have 2,000 a week on Facebook. But all I'm talking about is Jesus and Donald Trump.
There you go. Well, this is the season for the reason of the season, and that's, of course, the birth of Jesus. But right now, I'd like to talk to you about your book. The title, of course, Trump Must Win, Discover the Dark Days Americans Will Face If Trump Isn't Reelected in 2020. Give us kind of a basic and a synopsis of the book, please.
So I write this book because for the listeners who don't know, I'm black, and I have black children, and I'm concerned of what's going on with the Democratic Party, and only President Donald Trump is capable of, President Trump is president for all the people. He is actually fair to black people. I mean, he did the prison reform, and I just want to remind listeners that Elizabeth Warren didn't do anything. You know, they have been in office for years, and I guess they just forgot about people. They forgot about black people. They forgot about white people. They forgot that we even exist. You know, I guess they're too busy making money to think about us.
Tasha, no, go ahead, please. I thought you were done. We had a little delay there. I apologize. Go ahead, please.
That's okay, sir.
Well, I was going to ask you, when you mentioned, I don't even like to talk about races or skin color, because if we're Americans, we're all Americans. I don't believe in a hyphenated America. That's my thought. But whether you're black, white, brown, whatever your skin color, this man, whether he has problems with his character or his past, that's irrelevant to me. I think he's done a tremendous job as president, and the Democrats are trying to get him thrown out of office. Tell us your fears going into 2020.
Yes, you know, what we're seeing going on, first of all, this is an election cycle. Nancy Pelosi is loyal to the Democratic Party. Donald Trump is the rival for the Democratic Party. Let's just put it the way it is. Nancy Pelosi is trying to help the Democratic Party win office. And that's why they're doing the impeachment. And I just think to people, this is what they do in third world countries. I guess America finally caught up to it, because this is what the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to become a third world country. So now they just want to cheat the election, and that's what this is about. This is an election cycle. The timing of the impeachment is suspect, because why would you be impeaching your rival 12 months before an election? Could it be that Nancy Pelosi is trying to change the outcome of the 2020 election? You know, nobody's asking these questions, and they're like, well, she's not running for office. That's correct. She isn't, but she does know 12 people who are, and she would like to get one of them in.
Well, let me ask you this, Tisha. Do you feel that really, at this point in the game, that Nancy Pelosi has that much power over the Democrats anymore? When you look at Adam Schiff and you listen to Jerry Nadler and you listen to these others kind of going off on their tangents, do you think Nancy really has that much power over these Democrats?
Yes, because she's the one doing the impeachment, and they're, like, happy about it. And I just think, why would Nancy abuse her power? Why would she just, like, you know, history's going to remember her horribly. Like, why didn't she do what's right? I mean, you hear about the whistleblower. The whistleblower is not coming forward. We'll never know who the whistleblower is. You know, we all go to court. You have to know who is lying, or you have to know what the witness is saying so you could speak against it. President Trump is not getting that opportunity that we get in court. They took it from him. How could this be a fair thing? And I said to people, if they do it to Trump, they'll do it to us.
Yes.
It's a matter of time before a clever lawyer said, I'm going to try that.
Let me ask you.
What I tell people is, this is not right. These things are wrong. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. You don't have somebody accuse you of a crime and you don't know who the person is.
That's right.
It could be anybody.
That's right. Let me ask you this point.
As well. It's made up.
Absolutely, and I've said for a long time that I do have the name of the whistleblower that was given to me a couple of weeks ago, and by a lawyer back in D.C., and if he really is the whistleblower. But how are we to ascertain what's truth and not truth when you've had the likes of Adam Schiff stand up for the last 3 years and say that we have undeniable evidence that Trump is guilty of this and that, and then after 3 years, they still have nothing?
That's exactly what it is. And people said, it's because it's like classified information. It's not classified information. What it is sloppy legal work. They're just trying to win. They're a whole bunch of lawyers, and they're just creating the system to fit into their narrative. But what they're doing, they're hurting all of us. Every single person is being hurt. And I'll tell you why we're being hurt by the Democratic Party. It's that they're setting up a new precedent that's going to allow other private lawyers to follow in courthouses. So that's what they're introducing to us, and it is very wrong.
You know, you said something earlier I'd like you to elaborate on a little bit. The black members of our society across the country, from D.C. all the way to Los Angeles, do they feel, in general, of the people that you've talked to, that Donald Trump is doing a good job and should be reelected, and they will support him?
So when it comes on to Trump and blacks, people are very private. They are voting for Trump. Blacks will vote for Trump because they're working. Under President Obama, they didn't have any jobs. However, they have to go Christmas dinner with relatives who are not voting for Trump. So blacks are voting for Trump. They're just not telling anyone.
You know, I don't mean to chuckle at what you said, but I can relate to the political squabbles around the Christmas table, and I can imagine that's going to be quite a severe situation if they stood up and said, I support Donald Trump.
Yeah, my cousins already, they took a copy of my book and they scream. They're like, how could you do this? Why would you do that? And I'm like, am I still your relative? They're like, yes, but you should not have done that. So it just shows you that, this is what happens. I'm not allowed to talk politics either over my Christmas because half my family are still Democrats. They said I brought disgrace to them.
Why would they say that, though, Tisha? Because what party really has done the most for the numbers of blacks across the country with employment and upgraded features for their economy, etc.? Why do you think there's such a strong allegiance in general to the Democratic Party?
I don't know. I just know when I came to this country at 19, I was told I'm a Democrat. And I'm like, but I don't. They said, you're a Democrat because you're black. That's what my cousins told me.
Oh, my.
So the minute you come off of, they go, you're a Democrat. What? You're black. You're a Democrat. Oh, okay then. And then I went to church and I start finding out about abortion. I'm like, I don't believe in that. And they said, don't worry about the abortion issues. And then I just figured, okay, so if I'm black, I'm supposed to be a Democrat. But if I'm Christian, I'm supposed to be a Republican. So that's where I'm like, I have to choose my Christian values. I have to choose my Christian values.
And I really appreciate your saying that, and because I want to pursue one other point with you. In the last election cycle, we saw the Democrats at their convention basically demean and cast off any allegiance with God, the Bible, and Christianity. They did this on numerous speeches that were given at their convention. How can a party like the Democrats, how can they espouse that they have family values when they're throwing Christianity in the dirt?
They can't. The Democrat is a party for anything and everything. I mean, I tell people it's so liberal, don't be surprised if the Democrats have a snarl or dog. It's not a far stretch. We do know that bestiality exists. It's just, now we just need a Democrat to go ahead and, approve it. Because they're standing for just about anything. They say climate change is real. We've been hearing that for a while. They say go ahead and kill your babies. They say let's keep the black men in jail. Don't work if you don't have to work. We'll pick money up off of a tree. I mean, they just tell you all these crazy stuff. Like Elizabeth Warren, for example. She's trying to do Medicare for all. I mean, you saw President Obama's thing. It was a disaster.
Right.
I mean, it's such a disaster. And why would I want government insurance when I could get a better insurance or private care? It makes no sense to me. And people are like saying, oh, yeah, I want that. And I'm thinking, you don't even like going to the government line. Why would you want government to take over your health care? It's crazy.
Well, you bring up a really valid point that I've discussed on my program many, many times. People that really don't take the time to understand what's going on with the Medicare for All thinking, they don't realize that there would be a severe lessening of their choices as far as who they can see as a doctor. They're going to see a severe lessening of the times that they can get in to see a doctor in case they need surgery, etc. They're going to be looking at a very watered down medical system in this country, and one major problem with Medicare for All is that they're looking at a major shortage of doctors and nurses because they don't want to be subjected to government involvement.
I know, and we have the power as Americans to stop this madness. All you have to do is ignore Elizabeth Warren and ignore Bernie Sanders. They are crazy people. They don't live in our reality. Elizabeth Warren is sitting on $12 million. She's going to be able to fly to Europe to get medicine. She doesn't give a crap. That's why she doesn't care. Even Pete Buttigieg, former mayor, I saw him on stage begging her to carve out private health care because he's not rich either, and he knows that it's going to cost. He's like begging her, saying, please make a provision for private health care because he understands once she goes in, she's going to smash everything. She's going to destroy the whole health insurance policy. And she's got her $12 million, so she gets sick, she's gone. We have to stay here with her stupid medicines.
Do you think, Tisha, that most people, I know they're trying to make a living. I said this in the first hour of my program. I know they're trying to make a living. They're trying to make ends meet. They're out there working hard. They're raising their kids, etc. Maybe they don't have time to really understand and discern what's going on in politics. And that's what scares me, because these hearings the Democrats are having right now, they're trying to sway the person that's in too much of a hurry to try to listen to the news and understand what's happening. Does that bother you like it bothers me?
Yes, it does. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing grassroots work. I'm trying to educate people. It's not easy, Bill, educating people. I was permanently suspended from Twitter. The politicians don't make it easy for people. I was getting 9,000 followers per month, and Twitter suspended my account. What I was told, what happened, the Democratic Party, if you become very, strong, you become an influencer, they contact Twitter and Facebook, and they limit what you can say.
Oh, my.
So that, you can't win.
Yeah.
So it's just like the government really wants to keep lying to people.
You know, let me ask you this.
Keep telling people lie, and you tell people truth, they shut you down. They just complain, and Twitter said, I got to let you go.
What is the number one fear that you have going into the next 12 months leading up to the election? What's the number one thing that you're trying to tell people that they better really watch out for?
Socialism. I'm afraid of socialism. I'm afraid of socialism, and it just seems as if there's way too many people running under the socialist ticket. And I just wonder, when did socialism become okay in America?
No.
When did it become okay?
That's my question to you, is our education system seems to be now leaning towards, from kindergarten all the way up through the university system, basic teacher of socialism. And here, respond to this, Tisha, because then I've got to go. But over in Hong Kong, we have young people that are willing to step in front of tanks and argue against the Chinese government. In Iran, we have Iranian people that are willing to get shot in the head as they protest against the government. They want more freedoms. And here in this country, we're willing to throw it all away. It doesn't make sense.
Because we're told we're getting free stuff. So how can you compete with free? You know, it's just free this, free that, free this, free this. Rich people owe you crap. Nobody owes me anything, Elizabeth Warren. God gave me life, and he's going to provide for me. But people seem to go with it. That's exactly what it is. It's just lies by our politicians. Free, 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 free. How do you compete with free?
There you go. You know, tell me, please, where people can find your book. Tell me that.
Amazon.com.
All right. Now, Tisha Powell, I want to wish you the very best. This book, I'm going to get a copy of it. Trump Must Win, Discover the Dark Days Americans Will Face If Trump Isn't Reelected in 2020. Thank you so much for coming on the program this morning, and God bless and Merry Christmas to you.
God bless them. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Wow. Very outspoken lady, and I appreciate her being on. And I got to tell you a little story about how this happened. The guest that we had planned for this half hour could not be here. They let us know at the last second this morning, and so we called an agent that handles a lot of various speaking accounts, and we ran across her book, Trump Must Win, and I didn't know about this lady's background, about not being born in this country, raised in this country, and wow, she tells it like it is. We've got to be responsible for ourselves. We've got to stand up and pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And you heard her comment. I thought it was kind of funny that the rest of her family that's migrated over here to the United States, she's scared to have Christmas dinner with them because she's the only conservative. I thought it was refreshing. Tasha Powell, and the book is called Trump Must Win, and you can find it on Amazon. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I've mentioned this on the program. Time out for a cough. Here we go. I would love to get rid of this cough. You know, this thing has been bugging me, and a lot of my friends have got this same thing. And we'll get on the telephone, and they'll go, cough, cough, hack, hack, how are you today, cough, cough. It just doesn't want to leave. Don't forget what we've been telling you about for the last couple of weeks about 7K metals. You can honestly help yourself build your own financial security and future through the purchases of silver. Absolutely. You're creating your own security bank, if you will, through silver purchases that can be sent right to you at your home. I got involved in this about a month ago, and I'm really high on the idea of creating a savings opportunity for yourself and then a valued treasure for your loved ones. So I urge you to find out more, a lot more, about investing in silver and your financial security. Call Lon Hardy at 312-8699. That number again, 312-8699, or Sharon Wilmot at 430-3259. Tell them I told you to call. They're really interesting, informative people telling you about 7K metals and silver. Please do that today. Got another little word, and then we're going to send it over to Wheels. As a matter of fact, I want everybody to remember our friends over at Patterson's Electronics in Burley. You know, they've been on our program for quite a bit of time now, and I've really enjoyed telling you all about their video surveillance cameras and their home theater systems and the car stereos and speakers, all their complete sound systems. But you know, something else. They have been taking, with customers that go in and shop and buy at their store, they've been asking the customers, what's your favorite charity? And they've been taking an account of all the different charities that have been mentioned, and they're going to, at the end of the duration of finding out about charities, I think in the next couple of weeks, they're going to take the top 2 mentioned charities, and they're going to give each of those charities $500. Isn't that nice? That is the Christmas spirit. Patterson's Electronics at 421 East Main in Burley with Curtis and Lorena. They're open Monday through Saturday 9 to 6. Telephone number to call 678-6997. Patterson's Electronics in Burley. Really nice people. All right, what else have I got? I think that's going to be it for a minute, and we're going to send this back over to Wheels in just a moment. But first of all, I got to tell you again, we're going to be at Denny's Old-Fashioned Christmas on December 19th. We're going to be broadcasting live and direct for the duration of the program on that Thursday, and we're going to have Santa Claus there. We're going to have Ashley Ludlow do our singing of Christmas carols. She was there last year. Outstanding. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have all kinds of fun things at an old-fashioned Christmas party at Denny's on December 19th. Don't you miss it. America's Diner. Merry Christmas. Right now, let's send it over to Wheels. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, Merry Christmas. We've got Merry Christmas wishes going from Rain for Rent over in Paul. They're super good folks. Scows in Burley and Rupert for all your automotive needs. Save on Shells. Hello, Anthony in Burley. And Dairy Queen in Burley. All of these folks wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Right now, let's go to the phone line. I've had this lady on the program in the past, and I always look forward if I can try to make her schedule work with my schedule to have her back on the show. And we say good morning to political analyst and writer Karen Cataline. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Zeb. How are you doing?
Well, I'm not too bad. Occasionally, if you hear me turn the microphone off and cough, we've got that cold that's going all over the country. But I just want to say how nice it is to have you on the show, Karen. The one thing I wanted to talk about. The one thing I wanted to talk about with you this morning in the time that we have is this mess back in Washington, D.C. is like a growing cancer. And I've thought many times I wished I had a huge Hoover vacuum that I could just stick under the door sill of this judiciary room and just literally suck out all the vermin that are trying to cause more problems. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've been watching it since it started this morning, and I was advocating not watching it, but it's so patently unfair. I agree with you. I think we need a giant rat terrier to hunt the vermin, but he would get so big and fat because there's so much to chew on here.
Well, Karen,
different analogy.
You know, Karen,
I'm watching this, and all I can conclude, initially anyway, is that I hope people are watching this in particular with Nadler, who just is frighteningly awful, and imagine that this could happen to every single one of us, that these self-appointed authoritarians could railroad any single one of us on phony charges, trying to convince the public that we're awful, terrible, and evil and the devil so that they can ruin our lives. This is what our founders tried to prevent because they knew that men are imperfect, and we're seeing a very good example of it right here this morning.
You know, Karen, what you just said absolutely falls right into the vein of what I was talking about in the first hour. I said you could find the most perfect person, kind of a Mr. Rogers type. You could find that Mr. Rogers type, and the more you hammer at him, the more you investigate him day after day after day, pretty soon you're going to find out that he kicked somebody's dog, and then he's in trouble.
Yeah, and then we found out, and not only that, but the appearance of being good and decent, like everybody, even Republicans, thought Mitt Romney was such a nice guy that the worst that the Democrats could say about him is that he had of women, a binder full of women, and he let his dog ride on top of his truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we found out that the fact that people thought that Mitt Romney was Mr. Nice Guy, that nothing could have been further from the truth there either. So the fact that people put forth a public persona and try to push a narrative to manipulate public thought, we all have to use our powers of discernment. As far as I can tell, Donald Trump, you're not going to, I think you might agree with this, but Donald Trump, in my estimation, comes out looking squeakier clean than any of these people because they have to manufacture evidence to get rid of them.
No, I agree with you. But I want to insert a point right there and ask you this. It's all well and good that you and I can discern what the Democrats are trying to do. And you know as well as I do, Karen, you study this every day. All they're doing is just making an investigation to sway the American public that doesn't have the opportunity, like you and I, to study the news every day. They're out working hard for their family. They're trying to sway the American family at the polls next November not to put Donald Trump back in office because they're trying to paint a picture of him that they may not know of right now.
And they've been trying to do that from the moment he took the oath of office. As a matter of fact, they did it before he took the oath of office. And I would submit that a lot of that is because they knew that if he were allowed to remain in office as he has thankfully remained, that he represents a threat to them personally, a threat to them being exposed, their corruption, their collusion, their obstructing of justice. Everything they've accused him of is what they've been doing and trying to obfuscate. Now, we know that, but our job is to make sure that other people who don't watch it as closely as we do know that.
You know, let me ask you this. From what you saw this morning, and you had more of a leniency to understand what's going on back there than I did this morning because I've been on the air, but did you hear or did they say anything that would be a kind of an eyebrow lifter that you didn't know or haven't heard before?
Not only did they not say anything, but they brought in people that were completely and thoroughly irrelevant to the case. I have to admit to you that I could only listen to a tiny amount of these attorneys pontificating and lecturing us because, they have all these letters after their name and they've gone to Ivy League schools and they're attorneys telling us what we're supposed to think. This is not a law class. This is supposed to be a search for truth, but there isn't any truth here. I've been talking and tweeting online, too. People can follow me, Karen Cataline, spelled with a K. You can follow me on Twitter because I'm tweeting up a storm here saying, even if it's legal to do this, because this isn't a court of law, it offends every sensibility that we have towards fairness. Nadler continued to reject every request for clarification. All they said on Twitter, if you hate the president, you say the Republicans are trying to slow it down with procedural votes. If you appreciate how they're not being allowed to talk, they're not being allowed to speak, right now, there's a little bit of pushback, but very little. And what did the Republicans do? They brought in a notorious liberal to make the case that leftists shouldn't be doing this. That's what Republicans are reduced to, is Jonathan Turley, who can't stand the president, who's a leftist, making the case, trying to tell them to slow it down and to stop doing this. It's probably a compelling case, but talk about a railroad. I mean, we haven't heard the Republican side of this from the very start, or Trump's side of this. We haven't heard any of our side of this at all. I know I'm repeating myself, but it strains one's credulity that this could be put on television and anybody would take it seriously.
Well, let me ask you this, and I know that you've written a lot of stories, political stories about what's going on, and I'm going to search back into the memory banks a little bit on this next point. We're sitting there and we're supposed to be absorbing that there was collusion with Russia. Excuse me, and that there was arm twisting and bribery and everything else with Ukraine's president. And yet I go back and I say to you, I've got a copy of the transcript right here in front of me of what was said on that telephone call with Zelensky and President Trump. I don't see any arm twisting. I don't see any bribery. I don't see any collusion whatsoever. But I'm going back to Barack Obama when an open mic caught him when he was talking to a Russian dignitary, and he said, please tell Vladimir that I'll have much more flexibility after the next election. That sounds like a lot more collusion than anything Trump has done.
And that is only the tip of the iceberg of what they're trying to cover up. And whoever it was who said the best defense is a good offense, so when and if this stuff comes out, they're going to feign outrage and jumping up and down and their hair on fire so that their minions, their base can say, oh, that just sounds like Me Too-ism when the stuff finally comes out.
This is a propaganda war at this point. That's all it is, in my opinion.
Karen,
what's instructive is to watch the way the Democrats are willing to completely set aside any material fact that doesn't fit with their narrative.
Absolutely.
They should tell everyone what a sham this is.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this part. Over the last couple of weeks, I've noticed a change in tactics, if you will, by the Democratic Party and the leaders of the certain media like CNN, MSNBC, etc. And they have started lumping, if you will, Trump supporters and Trump fans and Trump voters into a base of, well, they're kind of snaggletooth, unkempt, rebels, and they're a cult, and they're all terrorists and everything. Is that picture that they're trying to paint of Trump supporters, is it at all being effective?
Well, I mean, go back to when Hillary called us all deplorables, and we did, conservatives, Republicans, people who really appreciate the amazing Donald Trump, and I say it unabashedly. There isn't a Republican who could do or withstand what he's withstood, and not only live to tell about it, but succeed in policies. I mean, he's extraordinary. And I'm not a sycophant. I respect the strength that he has shown. But that being said, the best thing we ever did was to print buttons that said, "We're deplorables, we're a basket of deplorables," and to throw it back in their face, because mockery in politics works very well. We've been called racists, deplorables, bitter clingers, cult figures, sycophants. There isn't anything they haven't called us, and all it seems to do, I hope, is to strengthen our resolve that our country, our very First Amendment rights, and all the traditions that we hold dear in this country are under severe attack. And use it or lose it, folks. If you do not speak up loudly and often, and laugh at these people. For example, I wrote a piece a while back when Trump was everything he says and does, their hair's on fire. If he sneezes, their hair is on fire. So he used the word lynch. God forbid Donald Trump or anybody white should use the word lynch, right? So I said not only the lynching of our language, but we should use the word lynching often, constantly. It's called rhetorical civil disobedience. We have to use the words they tell us we can't use. We have to do those things they tell us we're not allowed to do when it isn't illegal, when it isn't against the Constitution, to prove and to test that they are trying to create an alternate reality in this country. They're trying to go the back door to make certain words illegal, and now they're forcing language on us that if you don't use a certain pronoun, you can be fined in New York City $250,000. This is an outrage to everything American. So we have to fight back until such time as it can be tested in court. Supreme Court justices shouldn't have the amount of power they have, but they will have to test this in court, whether you can fine anybody $250,000 for refusing to say they or he or she if they don't want to.
Absolutely.
That's insane, right?
Absolutely. I mean, our whole country is going on the verge of insanity, but I've only got a couple of minutes left here, Karen, and I want you to expound a little bit on, I said the first hour of my program today that never in my life, and I'm an old man, I'm 72 years old, I've never seen a group of weaker candidates standing up at the podium like I have this Democratic nominee fold, if you will, standing behind these little podiums and trying to expound to the American people why they should vote for them. They're all leftists. They're all socialists. They're all free to the American public, higher taxes. These are the worst bunch of possible nominees I have ever seen. Your thoughts?
I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more. I don't think there's very much daylight between any of them. They all just have different styles. I mean, it's real big news, right, that Kamala Harris drops out of the race. There's 24 more behind her that just have a slightly different style. They're all pushing the same thing, socialism, and some of them just lie about it better than others. What we have to be afraid of are the people that claim to be moderates. They're not. There's nothing moderate about Michael Bloomberg, who wants to control the size of soda you can drink. Nothing moderate whatsoever. Can I just give a real quick shameless plug and invite people to visit me at my website?
Absolutely.
Kathleen.com. Everything and more than you ever want to know is there. I'd love to interact with people. I think people ought to be tweeting about this and interacting and trying to persuade others that this is a giant dog and pony show. So it's KarenKataline.com, last name KATALINE.com.
You know, Karen, you are a blessing. You're a breath of fresh air, and I really appreciate your straightforward approach to this. Real quick, which one of the possible Democratic nominees absolutely strikes fear in your heart that maybe they could be the selection?
Well, I don't see anybody I think could beat Donald Trump in a fair election. What strikes the most fear in my heart is that the Democrats have proven as a whole, as a collective, they're willing to do anything, say anything to get power.
Yes.
What worries me most are unfair elections, illegals voting, phony secretaries of state who have a political bias. If Democrats are willing to frame a president to get rid of him, do you think that they wouldn't cheat to get rid of him? Yes, they would.
Absolutely.
In a fair election, I'm not worried at all. In an unfair election, I'm worried quite a bit.
I absolutely thank you for taking the time to come on our program. Remember, folks, KarenKataline.com. Karen, please come back in the near future, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you so much.
Same to you. Love talking to you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Wonderful lady right there, Karen Kataline. And when it comes to politics and putting the cards face up on the table, she's going to do that, and I appreciate it, too. Very, very interesting lady. Okay, where are we at? We are right here at the desk, and we've got a weather forecast to take care of momentarily, but I also want to cough in your ear, pardon me. Ooh, I hate that cough. I want to remind you about Edith's Cafe. Oh, my wonderful eating over there at 144 East Highway 81 in Burley, right across from the golf course. All the different sandwiches, the steak sandwich and the regular fry, that's my favorite. And they've got a soup of the day special, and in the evenings they've got dinner specials. Like tonight they're having on Wednesdays the tri-tip with all the sides. Oh, it's good. You better stop in and treat yourself to delicious eating at Edith's Cafe. They're open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 9, and they do catering, and oh my gosh, what a great place to have a Christmas party. They can handle up to about 600 people, I believe. What an event center, and what a great restaurant. Edith's Cafe, 144 East Highway 81 in Burley. Really nice people. You know, now we are going to get our weather forecast on here. Old Wheels is asleep over there in the chair. I got to wake him up. Excuse me, with a raucous cough. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Oh, my goodness sakes, they've got all the delicious meats. The marinated pork ribs. Have you had those? Oh, my, they're good. And all the different bacons. They've got all the different buckboard bacons, and they've got all your sausages. And one of my very favorites, they've got the most delicious bratwurst. Oh, my goodness. Call them today and find out more. 324-7657. Or go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another relatively mild day here in the valley as we make our way through this work week. We are expecting some areas of fog, but other than that, partly sunny skies with a high expected of 38. Winds out of the east at about 7 miles an hour tonight. Patchy fog, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Expecting a low of 26 for tomorrow. Patchy fog in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. High of 38, mostly cloudy for Thursday night with a low of 24 by Friday. Partly sunny and 42. Rain showers and maybe some snow is a possibility on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies. We are expecting a high of 43. That's a look at your weather forecast for Seventh Ranch.
Gina, thank you. Outstanding job. Now, I got to take a look at our weather conditions here. Holy smokes, it's still really foggy out here this morning. And drive with care, please. Don't forget our weather forecast brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number to call Don and the crew, 324-7657. Go to their website. Check out all the delicious meats for you and your family, especially for the holidays. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. They're changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Great food. What do we got tomorrow? I was going to tell you about tomorrow. Sharon is going to be filling in for me tomorrow. Sharon Wilmot. I almost said the wrong name, Sharon. If you're listening, I caught myself. Sharon Wilmot's going to do the program tomorrow. And I wish her well. Please call her and make her feel at home. Deanne and I have got some appointments we have to take care of, and we will not be on the air tomorrow, but we'll be back here next Monday. So we urge you to call her and just treat her like one of the family tomorrow while she fills in for me on Zeb at the Ranch. I want to take just a moment here and thank our major sponsor, and believe me, you can be ready for anything the weather throws at you on the highway. Snow, ice, mud, yuck, muck, all that stuff. All you need to do is stop into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and let them help you with the best of tires, with all the different tread designs, all the sizes for all your vehicles for safe wintertime driving. Absolutely. And they've got all your tire chains and everything else. They've been doing the right thing since 1952. I urge you to stop in and see all or any of the 7 locations serving you with the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more at Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. Yep, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Thank you very much for a great week, audience. You're the best in the world, absolutely the best in the world. And Deanne and I, every day we want to wish you and your family a very blessed holiday season with the merriest of Christmases and Happy New Year. And we always wrap the program up by saying the way things were are the way things ought to be. But the 4 words that mean the most to us: in God we trust. Take care. We'll be back on Monday. Sharon will be here tomorrow. Don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch. Have a good one.